Hello, you're watching World Talks on TVP World. My name is Sasha Farbach. French Prime Minister François Bayrou, despite his extensive experience, now leads a very shaky cabinet that may last only a few months after his attempt to share responsibility for the budget backfired. Now, with the potential collapse of his government and even new elections looming, French markets are already reacting. The main French index tumbling, bond yields approaching Italian and Greek levels. And to add to that, a potential coalition of socialists and Marine Le Pen's far right has emerged, raising the question, is it finally Marine's time? We discuss the stakes and possible scenarios now with our guest, Romain Le Quiniou, Managing Director, Bureau Créatif. Good morning, bonjour. Good to have you with us here on TVP World.
Good morning. Thank you for the invitation.
Let's begin with this confidence vote. The Prime Minister Bayrou, he's called this. It will be coming up very, very soon, September 8th. He's facing stiff competition. Is there any way he can win this?
It looks like he will not win, and that's a big issue for him first, for the government that might fall, and for France, because France is in a difficult situation right now in terms of budget, financial conditions, and if the government is falling, it will delay the adoption of a budget, and we really need a budget that is able to balance France's finances and all this stuff. If you look at what the oppositions are saying, because Bayrou and the government, they need the majority of votes. If you look at the opposition, both the National Rally, which is the most important single party in the National Assembly, as well as the Socialist Party, they both said clearly, transparently, openly, we will vote against the confidence for this government. So at the moment, even if Prime Minister Bayrou is still cautiously optimistic, which I think is more about communication and realism, the government will fall in a few days, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So that would be a quick one. Let's also, I'm going to get to National Rally as well as the Socialists in a moment, but I want to get more into how the markets have reacted. We're looking at the CAC 40 down, bond yields suffering, banking also crying out in pain here. Now, are these declines, are they temporary, Romain, or is this part of an even deeper economic instability in France?
You know, it's fun because I remember when a few people, me included, commented on the dissolution, which, in my opinion, was an irresponsible move from the President of the French Republic. And many people said, this is very, very dangerous and we will have big consequences. And now, a few years later, a few months later, we can see it because this problem now affects also the French economy because France is seen as an unstable country, which it is at the political level, and our finances are not great. So the markets are reacting, without any surprise. They are stressed about the situation of France. And that's a big issue for Macron, and especially about his heritage, because we are talking about the end of the mandate of Macron in the coming months, right? And one of his biggest success over the past few years was that he was able to make France very attractive as a market, as a place where innovative big companies from foreign countries were willing to invest. And that is going to just disappear. And that's a terrible thing. At the moment, François Bayrou is really trying to raise awareness among the citizens. I think that he's doing it right, but it's very late. It's been months and months, if not years, that the situation of France is bad. And our politicians are just taking responsibility right now at a time where the politics are just not aligning with this. So I think the problem of France, and it has been a problem for many years, is that we've been just looking at political elites, both from the government as well as from oppositions, all of the oppositions that has been completely irresponsible about the political situation as well as the financial situation, and the public opinion, the voters, the electorate is also irresponsible because we've not been able to make clear choices which can just help France to go through this crisis. So this is a collective, I think this is a collective responsibility in France, and we have to find solution. Is it about a new dissolution of the parliament? I don't believe so. I really hope that our politicians can find a solution can just cooperate with each other because the situation is real, the situation is dangerous, and if we continue to play with fire, we will burn ourselves. And as we are within the European Union, and as we are in a very difficult time, a very dangerous time, I would say, due to geopolitical developments, France, by being irresponsible, is not burning just itself. It's burning all of Europe and all of Europeans. So let's be conscious about this and let's be responsible and act now.
I want to come on to your point, what you said, and also mentioning Macron. You said dissolution of parliament is not the solution. I mean, we have some recent polling data as well from different pollsters, an ELAB poll, BFM TV, very much about looking at 56 to 69% of French citizens favor snap elections. And let's say if Bayrou fails this confidence vote, I think almost 70% of French people would want Macron to step down. I mean, it's a difficult moment for Macron, isn't it? Because it wasn't so long ago he had Barnier. That didn't last very long. Now we have problems with his new prime minister. I mean, is there any way that he can stave off this call for his own mandate to end, for elections to happen sooner? Is there any way you see that happening?
I don't think so. I mean, it's decision. He has a mandate. The mandate will end in 2027, early 2027. Of course, the election campaign already started, and this is why also the National Rally or the Socialist Party are very tough on this. They don't want to find any compromises because they are very afraid that the electorate will not be happy if they are complacent to the current government and if they give confidence. So, we are already in this presidential election campaign in a way, but still, I do believe that it's great if French people believe that they want new elections, fair enough. But first, they don't decide, and second, to do what? Because we know that, and looking at the polls once again, if we do snap elections again, the situation will be more or less the same, which is basically a blockade between three big pillars of politics, which are not able and we're not willing, that's a big issue here, not willing to cooperate. And so the blockade should remain. And that's the issue we are facing. This is why back in 2024, a few analysts say, be used to the chaos in France because it will continue. Everyone knew that the government of Michel Barnier will not last very long. Everyone knew that the government of François Bayrou will not last very long. And I can give you an exclusive news. The next government, we don't know when it will be nominated. I can give you this exclusive news that it won't last very long. And this is the situation France is facing. And this is where people from the political class have to be responsible. They need to find a solution. Having no government for more or less 2-3 years is just impossible. We need to cooperate. We need to act as a mature democracy, and we need to find a solution now.
But on that point, I mean, understandable, there should be a maturity of all this. As you said, a mature democracy should find those solutions. But let's work with what we have at the moment. It is, as you said, chaotic. You have different groups vying here for influence and power. Looking now at National Rally, I mean, Marine Le Pen has been rising. That political force has been pointing more and more. I mean, tactically last time, that was a bit blocked off. I mean, can that be staved off again? Is this now more of the moment for her to be in that ascendancy? Do you see her still being blocked, or are we heading towards, is that realistic, looking at a far-right government in France in the next months or the next year?
One thing is sure is that the National Rally is the most popular political party in France by far. The leaders of the National Rally, Marine Le Pen, as well as Jordan Bardella, the president, are the most popular politicians in France right now. That's a clear thing, and it will remain so. The thing is that they might be the most popular, but they will not be able to attain a majority, which means that they will have, if there will be new elections, and if they are called to nominate to build a new government, they would have to find some coalitions, and this is very unlikely that anyone would align with them. And once again, okay, they could build a government or a small coalition, but they would not have the majority. So once again, they would be blocked, and I can guarantee you that most of the political parties would be very happy to block the National Rally and would be very happy to show that they are unable to do anything. Once again, the big jackpot is not the formation of a government at the moment. No one wants to be at the head of a prime ministership at the moment. This is just something that is very costly politically for anyone who accepts to do it. What the big price is in France is the presidential election that will happen in 2027.
But
And
before
this
we
is
get
why
to
a
the
political
presidency, I'm
party
sorry to
such
jump in. Before we get to the presidency, we do have that confidence vote on September 8th. Unfortunately, we'll have to close it there. But it will, you said it'll be chaotic, but it'll be very important to watch what happens next. Look, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. Romain Le Quiniou for us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching World Talks. But there's more coming up, so stay right where you are here on TVP World. Goodbye.